Meanwhile, Russia has reported more than 10,000 COVID-19 infections for the sixth straight day running. That is more than 60,000 cases that have been recorded in just the last 6 days. Russia is now the fifth most affected country in the world due to this pandemic. Now, the number of confirmed cases has gone up by 10,669 over the last 24 hours, and that's a rise in the number of cases by over 10,000 for the sixth straight day. The latest spike takes the total number of infections across Russia so far to 187,000. The latest reports from the Russian government have confirmed 98 new deaths, taking the death toll, the overall death toll across Russia so far, to just 1,723. Now, this is the lowest death toll for a country in the top 10 worst affected nations in the world. US President Donald Trump has said that Russian President Vladimir Putin accepted his offer to provide ventilators, but there has been no confirmation from the Russian administration so far. Cases have been registered in all of Russia's 85 regions, but more than half of all deaths and cases have been in either Moscow or in the Greater Moscow region. The citywide lockdown in Moscow has now been extended until at least the 31st of May. Moscow and other Russian regions are in their sixth week of the lockdown. In a recent video meeting with the governors, President Putin warned against any haste in removing the preventive lockdown measures. But he's also offered full support to ease some restrictions in Moscow despite a rise in the number of cases. In Moscow, the first phase of lifting the lockdown measures is set to begin on the 12th of May. Industries and construction work will be allowed to reopen. However, both Vladimir Putin and Moscow's mayor have agreed that it is premature to open up the services sector. It will remain under lockdown until at least the 31st of May, but some shops will open. Outdoor walking and exercise could also be allowed. Now, on the global stage, Russia has surpassed France and Germany in the total number of cases. It now sits behind the United Kingdom. Russia's mortality rate is low in comparison with the other severely affected nations in the world. And as of now, Russia's death rate due to the virus stands at a very meager 0.9%. And that is significantly lower than Britain's 14.9% mortality. However, several medical experts are claiming that Russia's mortality rate is much lower, as the government is actually hiding the true number of cases. And also, our correspondent Julia Chapman, who's been tracking this story very closely for us, has sent us this report from Moscow, isn't it?
Well, that's right. The situation is getting worse and worse. Another rise of more than 10,000 new cases in a day, and around 50% of those are here in Moscow, which has seen the worst of this coronavirus outbreak. There have been big problems with full hospitals. There have been a number of patients who have had to be taken to hospital, although authorities do say that the hospital system here in the capital is coping, but there are serious concerns about the testing accuracy that's been going on. We've seen the numbers climbing rapidly over the last few days and weeks. Russia now has the fifth biggest coronavirus outbreak in the world. And nevertheless, authorities, including the mayor of Moscow, say that the numbers are likely even higher. Mayor of Moscow, Sergei Sobyanin, says that there are probably around 300,000 coronavirus cases in Moscow alone. That's more than 3 times the official figures that we've been given.